go by the name of Joffey Joe, and this is the show, Call It How I See It. And on today's episode, I got a couple of things I want to talk to you all about. First and foremost, I am here to recap the Steagles Bowl, as I have Glenn Pratt and I have Carlo in the house, and we're going to recap the Eagles and Steelers game, and also what to make of these two teams moving forward. You don't want to miss out on that. And for our second take, I got Joe Valo and I got Chris Seppy back in the house. Yes, my two good friends are back in the house, and we're here to talk the NBA Cup. I'm not the biggest fan of the NBA Cup. I'm not. But there was still some good basketball played, and we got to talk about it. So we're going to talk about the Bucks and how they're going to be moving forward, as well as the Oklahoma City Thunder moving forward. And if Darvingham is really the key to winning the NBA Cup. So you don't want to miss out on this action-packed episode. Hello world, look who we have back. Yes, I got Glenn Pratt and I got Carlo in the house. I'm going to start with you, G. How you doing, my man?
I'm okay. Still looking at my wounds after that Steeler defeat, but it's just one loss. Next week we got the Ravens on Saturday anyway, so got to turn the page and move on.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, we'll talk about it. I want to run the victory lap around you yet, G. But we have some football like almost every day next week, and it's kind of a great feeling. I really like that. Christmas week is starting to become more NFL friendly and everything, so it's good to see some of these type of lineups and stuff. I'm looking forward to having football every day, other than maybe like next week on Tuesday. But I'm really looking forward to it. But JC, how are you doing, my friend?
Feeling good. Another week, another victory. Still closer to the number one seed. I'm feeling it.
Yes, it's right in our grasps. Even with Detroit losing against the Bills and stuff, that's definitely going to make things more interesting in the NFC, and seeing how they still have to play the Vikings and stuff, it's going to get very interesting down to the wire, where really this week we're just playing Washington, and then, we can kind of just put things in the cruise control. I mean, Dallas might be a little pesky, and, we know what the Giants are, so we'll see how things turn out. But, I mean, for the most part, this week means everything to the Eagles, because that's really what solidifies the division, and maybe even, some seeding-wise in the playoffs. But, G, since we are here to talk some Steagles Bowl, I want to have you run your thoughts and ideas on what you thought. First thing I wanted to start off with is, what do you think the Steelers' biggest problem was with playing the Eagles this week?
Offense. Lack of limit, just too limited.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson, 14 of 22, 128 yards, a touchdown, no picks.
Right.
I mean, time of possession, 39 minutes for the Eagles, 20 minutes for Pittsburgh.
Right.
I mean, it's just, you can't get it done. Third down conversions, 3 of 10 for Pittsburgh, 10 of 17 for Philly.
Right.
First downs, Pittsburgh 10, Philly 26. You can't win a game. 13 points? 13 points ain't winning you many games.
No.
We've scored points here and there in games, and it made it look like Russell Wilson was cooking, and I'm with you. He's had moments.
Yeah.
Just too inconsistent. They don't got the horses, in my opinion.
No, I can definitely see what you're saying in that aspect and stuff in terms of not having the right horses. But, I mean, if you really think about this team, like the way it was molded this year, I mean, I don't think the expectations were to have maybe this type of record at this type of year. I mean, like, their defense was solid, but then, like, the quarterback issue was a big problem. And then, they went with Russell. It's been going good. But the thing is, like, when he's going to play a better team or better competition, what really is going to show up and show out. And then I kind of guess we got that glimpse of that Russell Wilson coming out. Kind of looked a little old, a little frail in the pocket, wasn't able to move around the way he wanted to. The Eagles defense and Vic Fangio was able to, provide a lot of pressure and stuff that made things hard for Russ. The fumbles didn't help. The Najee Harris fumble when they were going down, that was a big momentum killer. They had things going for him, even some of the plays where, T.J. Watt punched the ball at Jalen Hurts and stuff, going down and capitalize. You have to capitalize.
3 points.
Yeah, that's huge, G. That's huge. I'm saying you have to capitalize off of turnovers. That's what, teams prey off of that type of stuff. So that was a big kick in the balls.
Yeah, you got to take advantage of that when you're playing a team like Philly, man. I thought that right there could have put us in a position to not exactly take control, but to definitely put ourselves in a better position.
No, for sure.
We couldn't capitalize. We got 3 points out of that. Unacceptable.
Man. No, it definitely is. I mean, but still, for the most part, though, G, I mean, the Steelers are definitely in the driver's seat in that division. From what I see, I mean, it's their division to lose. They're definitely, coming down everything. I know they play Kansas City on Christmas and stuff, but with the way they are right now, I mean, that I wouldn't even say they're a sure bet with Mahomes getting hurt. But I did want to ask you, G, what do you think? Do you think the Steelers have a playoff run in them coming forward?
Oh, listen, I'm a lifelong fan. I'm a diehard, man. Love my Steelers. As long as they're mathematically alive, I'm in. I mean, they've already technically clinched because I think the Colts lost. Somehow I think that already put Pittsburgh in.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're in. So I guess worst case scenario, we're 7 seed. I say we're probably one and done with this team. That's just my opinion. I'm tempering my expectations, man. This season alone has already been like, oh, my God. I mean, let's be real. 10-4.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. So, no, we ain't got no playoff run, man. We can't beat. I mean, we've beaten Baltimore. We've beaten Washington. We've beaten I can't remember the winning teams we beat, but we lost to the Colts. We lost to Cowboys. We lost to Cleveland. We just lost to Philly. Was the best team, we beat the Chargers too, or whatever that's worth. So I mean, we beat Denver. So I mean, we beat some teams, but we can lose anybody too. Nah, we ain't got no playoff run in us, man. Keeping it real. Call it how I see it.
Yes, way to stay on theme there, G. I appreciate that. That's funny to me. But no, I mean, I don't know. I think you guys, defensive-wise, I think you guys can maybe pull out a first-round win. But, it depends on the matchups and everything. Like you said, some teams might be more favorable than other ones. I mean, like you said, you already knocked out the Chargers. I mean, you beat the Chargers, and you've also, beat the Broncos, too, which are two teams that are definitely going to be in the playoffs. But it's going to be interesting. I mean, I definitely think your bread and butter is still, still that smash-mouth style of football, running the ball and playing good defense, and maybe having Russ make a couple throws and stuff. I mean, too, having George Pickens, I don't know if that's going to change the needle of what happened last week, but that definitely helps your offense out, too. So, I mean, with him getting healthy, I guess we'll see where you guys move forward. I mean, Mike Tomlin might have some things up his sleeve, so.
Not enough. I mean, I'd love to see it, Joffey. I love you, man. Love you, man. I just don't think it's enough. I'm rooting for him, bro. Don't be all in. I just don't see they ain't got the horses, man. We need another receiver. I mean, we need something else on offense. I don't know what it is, whether it's the scheme, the play calling.
A playmaker.
Need another baller on the other side.
Yeah, just a playmaker.
Right.
I definitely could see that need. It's just like you're putting so much on a quarterback and running game. You need other people out there to step up and make some plays.
Absolutely.
That's what it comes down to. But now we're gonna run our little victory rap around you.
Do your thing, man. Do your thing.
All right. So this is where I have JC come in now. So Jay, what did you think about the Eagles last Sunday?
I thought after the poor passing performance against the Panthers, I feel like they came out there with a plan.
Yeah.
To shut everybody up, and that looks like that's what they did. There was a play in particular where Darnell Washington, tight end, was blocking Slate for the stands, and I love how Quinyon Mitchell said, "That's my bet." It showed me camaraderie. This team looks like it's more together than the 2022 team. They look tougher, and I can't wait to see what's going forward because, with Detroit losing a lot of their key players, it's going to be interesting going forward. Their schedule rest of season is a little more different.
No, for sure. Like I said, we just got Washington.
And, the Steelers did a good job. They contained Saquon.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some good that came out of that game, but keep going.
They had no answer for Hurts. No answer for Hurts.
I was a little surprised.
Yeah, they had no answer for Hurts.
I was a little surprised.
No answer for A.J. Brown,
A.J. Brown, Devontae, these guys balled out. I mean, the Eagles really, in terms of what they have available, because Goddard's not there, but, in terms of what they had available, they really, kind of carved up the Steelers left and right, having in routes, crossing routes. This is the type of offense I've been expecting the Eagles to have, at least in terms of their passing game. Also, too, I mean, if we look at, we give Sirianni, Kellen Moore a lot of shit, right? But what I realized last week is, in terms of who you're playing against, what do they do good and what do they do bad? Obviously, we know the Steelers are good at stopping the run. Pass game, their corners, I guess, are not, elite level corners in their secondary. And we can also go back to the game where A.J. Brown, had 3 touchdowns, I think, 2 years ago against the Steelers.
That was at that game.
Oh, man, what a kick in the balls.
Oh, that hurts.
But, some of that core...
it was tough.
That secondary is still intact for the most part. So, I mean, the Eagles looking at that, they're kind of going to look at old film and kind of realize and study what really works in types of passing the ball in this situation. And it did. It worked out. They hit a home run. Jalen Hurts actually probably had his best throwing game against any team this year, minus what he did against the Bengals. But I was really encouraged. And sometimes I need to shut my mouth because I have to realize that every week it's going to be a different story. So you can't dominate teams the way you want to, every week and forcing your will. And the Eagles have so much options available, and with those options available you can win in different ways, and we kind of saw that come into light last Sunday, which it was a good win. I'm very happy about it, and I like where this team is moving forward. But JC, I want to ask you, with this win, the Lions losing, the Chiefs kind of having Mahomes getting hurt right now, are the Eagles really the best team in the NFL right now?
People will argue Buffalo. Will argue Buffalo. I'm happy to say I think our Birds are the best team in the NFL right now. Complete, both sides of the ball.
Yes, and that's the biggest thing. I definitely would actually, when you say complete and being complimentary, as Glenn iterates a lot, I think the Eagles, in terms of what they have set up in their defense, which Big Fangio has worked wonders. It's really some more than what I ever expected, especially with this personnel being so young. They've really bought into it. But with that and their offense, I definitely think altogether they might have the best team going on, but it's also, we know, it's a week-to-week basis. So, God forbid an injury happens, we're talking about Detroit losing people left and right. It's going to be interesting to see how things turn out the rest of the year. But, with us, if we win this divisional game, we win the division, we can start, taking it easy. But, we also seen in the past where taking it easy brings rust and people get out of rhythm. It's almost like a double-edged sword. You're healthy coming in, but how ready are you? You're the rhythm and everything. It's going to be interesting to see. But, G, who do you think is the best team right now?
But you can't account for injuries, so we're going to take it week to week and just let it happen.
Exactly.
The Eagles, let me tell you, I was watching them on Thanksgiving, and I couldn't tell enough people after watching them play the Bears on Thanksgiving. Yeah, they were playing the Bears. I thought to myself, the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl. I'm telling you right then, I said to myself, I've got to work, and I told a couple people, they can beat Detroit, man.
I think
like
so, too.
JC said, they're complete on both sides of the ball. To me, when it comes to Jalen Hurts, the bottom line is, of course, he might went a little low with the passing, but he's capable, man. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
He can make any throw, and he's got the legs, bro. Look out! Tell you, Philly's gonna be in it. They're gonna be a problem. I mean, we're talking Detroit, Minnesota, Green Bay. I mean, NFC is going to be serious. People are sort of shitting on the NFC for a minute, thinking that they weren't going to be, as competitive as the AFC. Dude, NFC North. Come on, man. It's going to be serious, man.
There's going to be three teams coming out the North. I mean, and honestly, the team that I'm actually most scared about that I do not want to square up with because they have had our number is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I knew it. I agree, man. Dude, week to week.
Bro, I mean, but like what we've seen with them, they can beat anybody. They beat Detroit. They kicked our ass. You know what I mean? Like if they square up with anybody, they can beat them. They're fearless. They, like even their games last year where they lost to Detroit, they played neck and neck with them, and they even beat them this year in their house. That's what I'm saying. That is the team. I don't want to see Baker Mayfield in January. I'm sorry. I'd say
they're capable. I hear you, man. Definitely scary. But the Eagles can hold their own against anybody. I totally, as a football fan, if you don't see that, man, you ain't watching the game.
But like I see like the defense making adjustments too. Like sometimes like there's a push and shove factor, but like the Eagles, when it comes to the push and shove factor, it seems like they put their feet in the ground and kind of hold up the wall, at least on defense, not giving up points and stuff, and that's huge, especially against good offenses and stuff. But
you better have somebody special on offense, man, because if you don't, I see a defense clamping down on you. Even if you are special, I still think they're going to limit you. But if you got a bunch of average, the good guys across the line, long day.
Yeah, long day. Yeah, it's a long day in the office.
They're going to look like they can't play.
They can't.
We're serious, man.
For sure.
Nah, the team. I don't want to see the Rams.
The Rams. I mean, but like we took them out in their own house, though. I mean, I understand they're getting hot. I know they did this last year too, like where they came into the playoffs hot, and then they lost. I think they won their first round. No, they lost. They lost at San Francisco. But
right, just
they lead their division.
Buccaneers
they are.
Godwin I think the Buccaneers losing Godwin takes a little steam off of them.
It does for sure. I mean, and we've always been aware of his injury history and past and stuff.
And they've only beaten us really down there. They would have to come here.
Yeah, it's different. It is different. But I mean, I just think about Joe Jaravicious stiff arming Bobby Taylor, and I get really scared about that stuff.
I think he's still running.
I know, dude, and I don't want to think about that. I hate about thinking about that.
I saw a picture of him on the internet. Yeah, I saw a picture of him on the internet earlier this week. Just a picture got me mad.
It's a brutal thought. I don't know what the millennium has done for the Eagles and the Buccaneers, but it seems like the Buccaneers have had our number since this millennium started. But like I said, that's just who I think I'm kind of scared about. I mean, play against. I mean, like too. I mean, we beat the Packers earlier this year. Given it was the week one playing in Brazil,
right.
So that helps.
They're clicking right now too.
They are clicking, but I think that Jordan Love has been making. I think his mistakes will come to light in big moments, and I think he's still young. He's learning how to play, but he's definitely leading the team that team is definitely going in the right direction. That team's going to be good, especially they have Josh Jacobs and their defense. They're a team to watch out for in the future. So I just don't know if they're there yet. The teams that are like there. No, it's not. But the teams that are like there right now. The teams that are there right now is definitely Detroit, us, maybe Minnesota. We'll see how things play out. I don't know about Sam Darnold either. Like I know he has these games, but I also see the games.
When you get to him, that's the issue.
I think about the game where he plays Jacksonville and he's having a horrible game, and I don't want to watch the TV anymore. That's what I think. But so we'll have to see how that takes. I would say San Fran, but they're gone, so I'm not worried about them this year.
I'm not San Fran right now.
No, and the AFC. I mean, we look at Kansas City and Buffalo, but and then with the Steelers defense, maybe Lamar might have some more magic left. I don't know. Like there's leaps and hurdles that those two teams need to catch up to be on the same level as the Bills and Chiefs. But we'll see how things turn out.
Lamar Jackson is great.
He is.
When the game slows down, I have a lot of questions.
No, and that's basically what it is, dude. Like in the long stretch of the game, yes, but in this, in the moment of trying to win the game, in a big moment, I'm not putting my money on Lamar. I'm not. But I got to wrap things up, and I appreciate you guys coming on, calling things as you see it.
Nothing like calling it how I see it. Appreciate you, Joffey. Get back with you, man.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm glad there was no technical difficulties this time around. We were able to have a nice, smooth take. But all right, guys, I'll let you guys go. All right, thank you again.
Be safe, man. All right,
talk to you guys soon.
All right. And we're back for our second take. And I have Joe Valo and I have Chris Sepulveda in the house. How y'all doing? I'll start with you, Joe. You doing good over there? Smoking 2 blunts? 2 chains, 2 blunts?
Boys, static.
How about you, Chris? How you doing?
I'm over here just to watch some highlight.
Word.
Just to revise them a little bit,
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to have you both on. I need some of your basketball knowledge and dissect some of your brains about what happened in the NBA Cup. Personally, me, I think the NBA Cup's a waste of time, but we'll talk about that later in a segment. We'll talk about who actually won the NBA Cup this year, and it was the Milwaukee Bucks and Doc Rivers, Chris. They won. They won. So I want to start with you, Joe. What did you think about the NBA Cup? Like, do you think that with Giannis's type of performance that he had in this NBA Cup, do you think he's back to his MVP form?
I don't think Giannis ever fell off his MVP form. I feel like maybe Joker has been outshining him, and his team hasn't been having championship success like he did when he was MVP. But I don't think he ever took a step off. Nobody wants to play. Giannis has been top 3 in the world at worst. When we say he lost the championship form, that means that he's probably the 3rd best in the world. If you want to throw, 3rd best at worst, maybe 4th if you want to throw Luka ahead of him.
Right.
But I don't think he has lost his championship form or his MVP form. I think he's always been that guy.
No, he has been that guy. He's been the guy in Milwaukee for almost a decade now. But, I think the last couple of years that, some people would consider that he's not where maybe top 3 or top 4. It's just the injury factor in terms of, him being on the court and being consistently on the court. It's been in and out, and then, Dame's been in and out. So, this team hasn't been complete and full. And it's still not even complete and full because Chris Middleton didn't even play in any of this NBA Cup. So it's interesting to see how this team actually collectively got together and actually won with these 2 guys being the head of the centerfold of this team and winning the cup. I want to hear what you guys say, Chris.
I thought it was a great game. I thought it sucks because essentially this is how you want all NBA games to be, where people are really thriving to win, and this is a great example of it. It was a great game by both teams, at least up until the 3rd quarter. Then that's when Milwaukee kind of came away and just started taking over.
Right.
I think this was perfect because this definitely gives them a lot of confidence moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Where I think Milwaukee is, if anybody's going to come claim that throne, it's going to be Milwaukee. They're going to give Boston, if they can play like this consistently and Giannis stays healthy, and we'll see what happens with Chris Middleton coming back. We'll see exactly how he's going to fit into there. But they definitely have the best chance of beating Boston in the East.
I think so.
Especially, yeah, for sure. So
if they're 100%.
We'll see. Yeah, exactly. And then we got to see that Giannis is essentially still is an MVP candidate, even though it's not looking like it. But this whole month he's been averaging damn near 30. So if he could just play like this consistently and just stay healthy, I think Milwaukee's definitely going to be a championship contender.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even the Knicks, you can throw in there, the Magic are having a good year, but the Magic just got banged up. So there's definitely things to consider in the East, but I would definitely say these 2 teams are at front and center of the East right now. And I think, I even think Boston kind of took notice to Milwaukee winning this cup. Even though I don't think this cup is really that valuable, and I think it's a big waste of time, but, it is what it is. And
they're playing hard. That's the best part. That's the only way it's all right. Because this is what we want to see. We want to see down to the wire games. We want to see teams really playing gritty and tough and really trying to win a game.
No, you're right. You're right. I mean, in a sense, a lot of people have been stepping away from the NBA because they were saying it's been watered down and the game isn't what it used to be. But in a sense like this, right? So here's a good story. The one player on Milwaukee that's been filling in their lineup, that's been a defensive prowess, the kid Jackson. He helped clamp down SGA, kind of having SGA only scored 21 points when he was covering him and stuff. So his defensive prowess helped them win the game. But a player like him, he's only getting paid $1,800,000. So a player like him, and there's the money incentive with this NBA Cup. An extra $500,000, that's almost half of his salary, or almost over a third of his salary, just from this game alone. So a player like that helps, that's a good story in terms of what this does, because it can help players that are not making what these top guys are making, help give them a little bit of boost to their salary and stuff. So that's a good thing to the NBA Cup, I would say. But I mean, I don't know, overall, I don't know. I'm still trying to sense this out. I know the ratings are down, the ticket sales are down. Not people. I mean, I know LeBron's on this round, but having a superstar like Giannis or even Dame Lillard there, it's not really selling. I'm not really buying it. The commercial where they're running around in Vegas and shit, it was cool, but I don't know. This year, we'll see what happens next year. Now they're talking about having another tournament in Europe, so we're going to see what Adam Silver has to say. But I do want to flip things on the other end of things here. I want to talk about the OKC Thunder, because minus the NBA Cup and everything, they've been balling out this year. They've been a really good team. But as we saw, and as Chris iterated, they kind of fell short in the second half here. So do you guys think that the Thunder have a chance legitimately this year, being where they are in the standings in the Western Conference, to even win the Western Conference? I'll start with you, Chris.
I think they're definitely going to be a contender for going to the championship, especially considering how well they've been playing all season. This is definitely a great learning curve for OKC moving forward, I feel like, because this is good film. This is what we can't do. This is how we can't fall apart. We can't do certain things because essentially when you're trying to win a championship, you guys have to be on all cylinders. You guys have to be very paired up. Everybody has to be in sync. We have to know what's going on. What are we doing moving forward? Um, this was like a championship game, but obviously it's not. You're not playing for a title.
Right.
So I think this is a great opportunity for them to just learn and understand, like, okay, this is what we have to do moving forward if we want to win a championship.
Yeah.
Because they have a great team, and granted, Chet wasn't playing, but when it comes to the playoffs, I feel like people have a different game plan. Everybody's essentially just going to be trying to play better and paying attention more to detail. And I feel like OKC is like not too hard to like figure out, but we'll see how it is this season. That's just my point of view on that.
Okay. What do you think, Valo?
I think they're the favorites in the West. I don't see another team being better than them in the West. They're 20-5 right now. They're the number one seed. The second seed is the Grizzlies. I don't think that they would be ready either. The Rockets are the third seed. Nobody's thinking the Rockets already. The Mavericks are the fourth seed. Nuggets fifth. Maybe the Mavericks, maybe the Nuggets, but the Nuggets don't look that great. This isn't the championship Nuggets. Jamal Murray took a step back. And with that being said, the Thunder are 20-5 right now, and Chet has missed time. They've been playing Jalen Williams at the 5, and they're 20-5.
Right.
And they also Hartenstein was out for a little bit.
Right.
The other Williams was out. They've been nicked up a little bit, and they're still 20-5. I don't see maybe the Mavericks. I don't like the Mavericks better than I like OKC. Yesterday during the finals NBA Cup thing, what they were missing is Chet. If they had Chet out there, Chet can compete with Giannis.
Right.
Or even if he's not guarding Giannis, he can free safety the floor and come over to help, and he's athletic enough to recover. They got Shea out there with all athletic wings that can shoot. They got Caruso out there. All these guys that they have out there, you know how like the Celtics have Derek White and Drew Holiday?
Yeah.
The Thunder have those guys, and those are championship pieces. Any championship piece needs at least one Drew Holiday or Derek White. The Thunder have Dort, Jalen Williams, who actually made the All-Star team last year, Caruso, that was an underrated pickup, and Chet plays defense as well. They got in Caruso and Dort, they got two solid role players that every championship team needs. And Jalen Williams is a borderline all-star, and Chet is an all-star. With Shea, you add Shea onto that, MVP candidate. He might, if Joker wasn't alive, he would definitely win it this year.
I think he deserves it this year just because where they are, but we'll see how the season turns out. But keep going.
Maybe because of where they are, but Joker's been playing. This might be Joker's best year.
Statistically, yeah. And then how the NBA is nowadays with the statistics and everything. But yeah, you're right about. Go ahead, keep going.
Shea's like a top 5, top 6 player in the league. You could put him right up. He's comparable to Luka, and I like their defensive prowess. I like better than Mavericks' offensive firepower.
I think that I agree with you there. I think that the way the Oklahoma City Thunder are structured, I think they're a more competent team. I think they play better defense. I think they spread out the floor better and stuff, in those aspects and regards. I mean, I definitely agree with you there. I mean, especially with the in and out factor. Like, if we as Sixers fans have been dealing with a lot of in and out, but like this team, like their next man up mentality has been good. Like even other guys stepping up off the bench, like you were saying, like having Caruso, they're good. Their bench is good. Having Isaiah Joe there is good too. They have some players that can pull up and shoot, and
Wallace, they got ballers.
They do. So like their 10 guys are really good, even when they're not even fully with their 10 guys. But I definitely like them moving forward.
Player for player, forget the West. They match up very good with the Celtics. Player for player, Porzingis, Chet, Jalen Williams, Dort, Caruso, Derek White, Drew Holiday. You know what I mean?
No, you're right about that too. They definitely do match up, and like them being younger too, they can run with the Celtics and stuff, especially since the Celtics are getting older and more experienced and stuff. But I definitely like the Thunder's chances moving forward, definitely to see where they go and see how things finish up here.
You think they're the favorite?
Like in the whole NBA right now?
out in the West, to come out of the West.
But that's another thing too that I wanted to bring up. I think the West is definitely flopped. I mean, not flopped, but like in a flip flop type of factor here. Like, it's definitely a youth movement. It's a youth movement here now. Like, if you look at most of these teams, they're mostly like yours. As you were naming down the standings, like we're looking at the Rockets, the Grizzlies are back in form, or even like a team like the Kings and stuff. Like, they're out there. Like, we started this season watching the Warriors kind of like dominate a little bit and taking hold of the front, but now they've fallen back. And these younger teams have still been consistent enough to, grasp and move ahead in the standings and stuff. I think the youth movement is taking over in the West, but I think since where the Thunder were last year and where they are, and then when they get to 100%, I would agree with you guys that I think that they are the favorites right now in the West. And I think even, taking a loss in this situation, not being at 100% against the Bucks, who also weren't 100%, but, in a situational game like this, in a situational game like this, I think this is a big learning experience for them, and I think, it can actually add a chip on their shoulder as their season continues. So
one thing I do want to say, though, is we can't rule out the Warriors. They were balling. We can't rule out the Warriors.
Right.
But the Suns, also before KD went out, they had a very good record. Yes. And there's rumors going around right now that they could potentially land a Jimmy Butler for maybe a Bradley Beal or something like that.
Yeah, flip something.
That would make the team. That would be a great step, I think. If they could get a Ben Simmons, I even think it would benefit them a lot. Ben Simmons. Yeah, I said Ben Simmons. That's what they need on that team. They need length, and they need somebody with playmaking ability. I'm not saying he's going to be the savior, but I think he can help.
If he wants to.
If he wants to, that's the best thing. That's the best way to say it. Because I don't know, Joe. I just don't know if he wants to. If he wants to, he can. If he wants to, if he wants to help out the Nets, he can help out the Nets, and he's not doing it.
Look at Russell Westbrook, though. He went to the Nuggets, and he's kind of has been outplaying Jamal Murray. He's been more consistent.
Yeah, and that could also be like a problem, I guess. I mean, that type of personality in that locker room, and how he asserts his energy on the court. I'm not saying like he's been a good teammate. He's always been a good teammate. But like I'm saying like the energy that he puts on the floor can definitely disrupt what's been normalized and make other players comfortable in their situation and their role on that team. But I want to finish on this note. Especially, I want to ask this to Chris: Is Darvin Ham the key to win the NBA Cup?
Darvin Ham is a lucky charm. I don't know what it is, but he's 14-0, 16-0.
Yeah, he's up.
Man, listen, Darvin Ham, the NBA Cup god. I don't even know what to say. He's the winner. If you want to win the NBA Cup. You won't sign Darvin Ham. You gotta go through Darvin Ham to get the NBA Cup. That's where we're at.
Exactly. That's where we're at in today's NBA.
Well, best NBA Cup coach of all time.
Might be even helping Doc Rivers' job.
Hey, listen, we never know what it is. He probably could be running the show. You don't know.
You never know. But guys, I appreciate y'all coming on, dropping your NBA knowledge. But I'll let y'all go. Thank y'all again.
Peace.
Yeah.
All right, peace out, guys.